So, welcome to Go Global World, GGW Sharks 38. It's been a success for the past 1 year and a half. We are doing this event. Over 5,000 entrepreneurs joined this event and pitched to our investors. And you know what? Even during this event, we see investments are happening during these hard times. And these news are just appearing to us in private, and we are super proud of that. And this is the place we're building this connection. So Go Global World is the platform where we connect investors with the right deal flow automatically through our technology. We are making sure that investors are connected only with relevant startups and founders. You no longer need to talk to those investors who are not a fit and who will say most likely no right away. So we will pre-screen every investor, every startup, and our technology will make an instant decision who's a fit to who. And you, as a user of this platform, will have a final say either pass or connect. And founders need to convince investors with their 60-second elevator pitch, otherwise investors will pass. So how it looks, investors have their own investor page as if compared to LinkedIn, where you have your professional page. But this one you can also share publicly, but this is not just a static page with your criteria, with all your investor or funding information. There is a apply for funding button for specific purposes to help you pre-screen everyone who is outreaching to you by email, LinkedIn, wherever. And we will make sure that we will process this deal flow and take a decision on your behalf in a matter of seconds. For founders, you are creating your beautiful one-pager, the way investors want to see your traction, all the information. And you put a 60-second elevator pitch video where in 60 seconds you convince investors whether they should why they should connect, otherwise they would pass. However, this also you can share publicly and compare it with every investor who's looking at your profile. You are pitching them every time, so it's like pitching on autopilot, and those who get interested, they will connect. And that's it. So then the match happens and you can talk. So you can decide faster, and it all goes through independent verification. And when we pre-select the right investors for startups, or the right startups for investors, we are taking it to a really a significant approach. We are looking at all the possible criteria. The basic one in front of you, stage, verticals, business model, but many others. And our system is intelligent enough to learn from your decisions, and we are trying to make very well curated lists of those real people, not cold people. So everyone you see on the platform, they are a fit to you right away, and you're taking the final decision, and they are pre-verified. So it's a very well selected audience. Now, when I say relevant, I really mean it, and we use the real technology for that. And so anyone who connects with you will be divided into lists, those who are really relevant and those who are not relevant to you. And you can work with those who you see a fit. That's it. So GGW Sharks 38 is about to get started, and I'm really excited about that. I will share the information about Go Global over here in the chat. But let's see who are the Sharks today. We have Rishi Sharma, and Elena Gantvarg. They were several times already the Sharks on our show. We also have Jon Langbert, Jillian, Manus, and Katie Ko. I will let the Sharks present themselves in a few moments. But before that, we will need to know the rules. The rules are very simple, but it's important you guys follow this, so we make this event most efficient and engaging. So please keep yourself muted all the time, except for investors. And if you want to pitch, just raise your hand. It's a 2-minute elevator pitch plus questions. But in order to be selected to pitch, you should have your first and last name, company name, and you should have a video on. We want to make sure it's real people, and we are not having some surprise or something. So my team is on the back end, is pre-verifying and taking final decision who's going to pitch during the event. So if you would have any questions, there is an account here, Go Global World. You may reach out in there. Respect your time. It's a 2 hours event maximum, and Go Global World members, they will pitch first. Then those who have completed their profile on our platform, so we know who you are, what's your traction, and we can actually select you over those who have never completed the profile. Yeah, you should email us if you want to pitch, so then we can put you on the list before the event. Then others who had, if you have time, on a first come first served basis, so it's a free event, and you guys should have an opportunity to pitch. So if you don't pitch this time, you need to email us, and next time we'll make sure that you get a priority to pitch. And it's only for startups with sales, IP, and evidence of IP and a scalable business model. If you're not a startup, please don't spend time of someone who have a startup and actively raising. It's important because we are not here for regular businesses, which absolutely great thing to have, but it's just for venture capital industry and startups. If you have any questions to me and to my team, reach us out by email. So, final thing, if you want this to be an ideal elevator pitch and impress our investors, keep it as a story and get to the point of what you do. In 2 minutes, it's hard to explain everything. And that's why you gotta follow probably these steps. And explain why you are unique and what's your attraction. If you pitched before, also add what has significantly changed since you pitched last time. And remember, we also have investors here in the chat. We have great network in the chat. Please support each other there. And it's not easy to pitch. And if somebody fails, support them. If somebody wins, support them. It's so awesome. We are one network. We have first sponsor of our event, BankMe, and Matt will have 2 minutes to tell about their bank and how they support entrepreneurs. Matt, take my space, and you may have 2 minutes.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Just sent a little blurb in the chat, guys. It's great to meet. I'm account executive at Meow. Keep it short and simple. What we do is we do banking for startups, right? So think Mercury, Brex, right? We're a competitor to them, direct competitor. We're not a bank. We're just a software that sits on top of a couple banks. Cool thing about the product is it's a fully operational checking account that pays yield, right? So it's kind of one in a kind that it pays 5% yield on every dollar that's deposited. But on top of that, you can run your business completely out of it, right? So you can hook up your accounting softwares, run payroll. There's a 2% cashback debit card. You can run invoicing, all that from a nice, pretty UX UI, and earn 5% interest on top of that. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet. You guys can email me. I put my email in the chat. There's also an online link. It takes like 5 minutes to get set up. We can get you guys approved same day. But yeah, it's great to see and chat with everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Matt. And this is the time when we let investors to present themselves. Let me put myself back to the stage. And let's start with Katie. Katie, please tell a few words about what you do, your fund, and your goals.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks, Daniel, for the intro. My name is Katie. I've been an investor at Ripple Ventures for 2 years. In terms of our fund, we're based out of Toronto, but we invest all across North America. We focus on B2B SaaS, so anything in enterprise software, AI, and developer tools. Check sizes range from $250K to $2 million, but our average check size is around $500K. We're lead investors. We love getting, our hands wet with assisting with the day-to-day. So if you need help with sales, go to market, fundraising, and hiring, we really strive to be that third co-founder in a company for our companies. So yeah, open to connecting on LinkedIn, and I'll popcorn over to Jillian.
Fantastic. Great to have you. Jillian, tell us where you based and a little bit about your fund, please. You're muted again. Please unmute yourself here. The microphone.
Oops, I'm so sorry. My name is Jillian Manus. I'm managing partner of Structure Capital. I'm also, as we can see, located in San Francisco, a big 49er fan. Go Niners. For all you Chiefs fans, don't bother pitching to me. I don't want to hear from you. I'm kidding. Okay. I am, in addition to structured capital, which we invest in underutilized assets and excess capacity and call ourselves the architects of the zero waste economy. Here today, I'm investing on behalf of my angel fund, which is called Broad Strategy, because I'm abroad and we broadly strategically invest into companies. I look for companies, and one of the reasons I like judging is because I look for companies that have founders that have high integrity, high curiosity, high creativity, and a depth of commitment. And I invest across the board. I'm not as much of a consumer investor. I'm more enterprise, but I have invested in many consumer products. Structured capital is known for Uber, Carta, WAG, Cargomatic. I like logistics. I like smart companies that solve a problem that also elevates society, not just shareholders.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your presentation, and exciting to have you on a panel of sharks. Elena, Gantvarg, your turn.
Hi, everyone. Daniel, great to be here again. I'm with Flint Capital. We're an early stage fund based in Boston. We do seed rounds and Series A rounds. The check size for seed rounds is anywhere between a few $100,000 and $1 million. Check size for Series A is between $1 million and $5 million. We're industry agnostic. There are a few areas that we're always looking at, and those include cybersecurity, digital health, enterprise software. Yeah, that's about it. We do both B2B and B2C with preference for B2B companies, but we have very successful B2C companies in our portfolio as well. And I'm looking forward to hearing the pitches.
We're looking forward to have you and see what you got. Jon, please take your turn.
Thanks, Daniel. Good to see you again. I'm a retired serial entrepreneur. I used to have companies in finance, construction, video poker, and internet retail. And now I'm a full-time mentor. I focus on business strategy and helping companies fine-tune their decks and their fundraising strategies. I do a lot of work here in Boston with the Harvard, MIT, Techstars, and Mass Challenge ecosystems. Also start out in California. I have a fund, a syndicate called Seneca, and I like to do food tech, and of course, medical devices, testing and diagnostics is a big business here in Boston. So I like seeing those. See a lot of them through the HBS Angels of Boston here as well, and also some B2B SaaS. But I'm open-minded. A stoic investing philosophy. So if I can understand it, I'm happy to look at it.
Love it. Thank you so much. Great to have you, Jon, with us. Rish, you're the one who is opening this global session, so no pressure. Just tell us what your criteria are.
Yeah, so similar to Jon, come from the founder operator side, now investor. West Coast lead at Newlin Ventures, focusing on pre-seed and seed investments. We invest in food tech actually as well, so that's one of our big verticals, as well as insurance tech, IoT, commerce tech, and then we do consumer goods through SPV vehicles as well, investing in both Latin America and the US as well.
Fantastic. So with that said, it's the time we get started, guys. And the first person to present is Jim Mulford. So Jim, I'm putting you to the stage, and you got 2 minutes, and you may start now.
Great, thank you. Well, hello, investors. I'm Jim Mulford, CEO of AarsChange. Our team has developed, tested, and piloted a platform for the real-time issuance and redemption of both cash offers and rewards across multiple markets. We're currently introducing this platform to the video gaming market as Sweepify. This will be the first sweepstakes engine that converts existing game tournaments and challenges to games with cash prizes and rewards. Our offering provides a scalable solution for a major problem in the gaming industry: declining revenues due to low gamer retention and monetization. Within casual games, 2023 revenue has, on average, declined from 18 to 36%. Social media ads, soft rewards, and game upgrades are not having the desired impact to reverse this decline. So our easy-to-implement API allows game publishers to address the revenue decline problem without having to change their games or their existing tournaments and challenges. Our offering manages cash payout tournaments from end to end, thereby driving player retention and monetization for our game owner partners. Casual game players enjoy challenges in the games that they already play. Competing for cash prizes is a logical next step for them playing the games they love and playing those games longer. Our competitive advantages include our well-tested and scalable IP, an experienced team of seasoned executives with prior successful exits, a solution that delivers results to any game in the industry with minimal integration and setup, and a growing list of game owners ready to apply Sweepify to their existing games. We're currently closing a $500,000 Reg D 506B pre-seed offering. Now, this round will be used to launch our gaming market MVP and prepare for rapid scale. Our $2 million price seed round later this year will fuel rapid growth. 6 early-stage funds have already expressed interest in the seed round post-MVP launch. So thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Right on time. Thank you so much, Jim. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions to Jim? Who would like to start?
The players put money in, and then it creates a prize pool, and then the people with the highest scores win, and you do like daily or weekly, or the sponsors of the games coming up with the money?
Yeah, actually, the great question. Yes, so the money actually comes from the publishers. They're driving that through monetization actions that occur within the game. So there are actually sweepstakes tickets that are issued to the game players, and then they can use those to enter the tournaments and challenges for cash payouts and prizes. We also contemplate later on that we'll have some sweepstakes drawings associated with that. So the key there is that it's not gambling. It operates on both casual games. It doesn't have to be a skill-based game. And there's never a requirement for the game player to make a purchase to participate.
And have you run it? Have you actually tested it at some point with
yes, we have tested it. We're now rolling out our MVP with a few games. We previously tested it with a game with prizes, first, second, third prizes, end to end, and had good success in that.
Perfect. Has any Sharks interested to connect with Jim?
Any other questions?
Or maybe other questions?
Maybe a question, do you have any idea, like what would the average check size look like? What are the publishers willing to pay for your solution, and how difficult is it for them, since they're sponsoring this? How difficult is it for them to offer this to the players themselves?
So great question. So the actual way in which the mechanics work on this is that the publishers themselves within the game are issuing entry tickets based upon monetization activities within the game. It could be as simple as watching an ad. It could be registering to play the game. It could be playing the game for an hour. All of those things drive sweepstakes tickets. The tournaments themselves will not be high payout tournaments. They'll typically be in the range of $100 prize pool. Some of the pools will grow larger as we begin to create add additional games. We'll be able to extend those prize pools, and then the sweepstakes drawings themselves, similar to what where this is primarily modeled after is what McDonald's did with their sweepstakes model. There's also within the game genres being done, and within the social casino games, Chumba Casino is the largest platform in this space. But we're extending it into any casual games, if that makes sense. So typically the amount that it's a pay for performance from a game publisher point of view. So they're really driving the issue that they're dealing with today, which is how do I retain these gamers longer when we see a large drop off of retention.
Thank you. Thank you. Dear Sharks, anyone interested to connect with Jim? Anyone in or out? All right. Jim, thank you so
I'll
much.
say I'm out, Jim, not because I dislike your business model, because I think you can probably create some stickiness there, but because I have a college-age son who has spent far more hours playing video games than studying, and I just can't support anything that makes people play more video games or scroll on their feed. I just don't feel good about it, but I wish you the
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the feedback, John.
Thank you.
John, I can totally relate to what you just said, because when I heard that the revenues from video games declined, I thought like, great.
Great.
As a
Yeah.
parent, not as an investor, as a
Yeah.
parent.
Yeah, and that's it's actually in each game where the decline is occurring. The growth you're still seeing in the gaming market is just because there's still hundreds of games coming out every month.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. And we're moving on. And the next shark to present. And Jim, please share your GGW profile in the chat here as well, so we have more investors in the chat, and stay with us. The next person to present is Jon Lim. John, are you ready? Okay, so you got 2 minutes, and you may start now.
Okay, thank you. I'm Jon Langbert, co-founder and CEO of Tal Carbon. My question for you is, did you know that we're going to have to remove more than 1 billion tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every single year to get to net zero? Now, that should scare you, because CO2 removal is nowhere near that scale today. But it's a huge opportunity, because it means that the CO2 removal industry will be worth at least $100 billion a year, probably closer to $1 trillion per year. Well, my co-founder and I were researching technologies at Stanford a few years ago, and we realized that the CO2 removal space was leaving out a really scalable, efficient, and low-cost approach, and that's dry wood storage. You see, when trees grow, they take in CO2 and they turn it into wood for free. Then a tree eventually dies, wood decays, and the CO2 returns to the atmosphere, unless you stop the decay. And you can do that by keeping wood dry. So if the wood stays dry, it doesn't decay, carbon stays locked up forever. So that's Tau's strategy. We store dry, densified wood waste above ground in modular waterproof containers for hundreds of years and for less than $100 per ton of CO2. Now, if you're skeptical about carbon markets and carbon credits, you should know that engineered carbon removal, like Tau's, sells for more than $200 per ton of CO2, and demand is rapidly growing. And here's a couple of other things to be excited about. Our credits are certified by Puro.Earth. This is the largest name in carbon removal. 2, we're aggressively patenting all the critical elements of our containers and our methods, so we'll have plenty of moats. 3rd, we don't need much land, because one of our 2-story containers will hold wood equivalent to 40,000 tons of CO2. That's $8 million of revenue on a single acre. And 4th, Bill Gates loves our idea. Breakthrough Energy Ventures just funded a new company called Graphite with a Y that's copying us. They're taking wood bricks, they're keeping them dry, but they're burying them underground instead of keeping them above ground. And that's a problem, because underground wood bricks are going to get wet, they're going to rot, and they're methane. So you should do it our way and invest with us. We're raising a $5 million seed round at a $20 million post-money valuation, and we'd like to talk to some potential lead investors. Thanks for your time.
Sounds exciting. Thank you, and that's important thing you guys do. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions?
You said it's $100 a ton.
That's right. We can. $100 per ton of CO2 is generally considered this magic threshold in CO2 removal. We can get under that.
I see businesses typically in that $25 range to sequester, maybe another 25 or 30 to compress it to get it to that point. Do you think you'll be getting down to that number at some point?
We're at that point. And I would say what gets us up to $100 per ton, the extra cost is the durability we provide. So we're building a structure around this dried wood. And that's what gives you the hundreds of years of durability that you can count on.
So, as I can recall, Kad Systems, which comes out of MIT, is that correct? Is the company that the Gates funded? Is that correct?
Well, Gates invested in Kodama. He also invested in Graphite, so he's in both companies.
Okay, but the Kodama is the one that I know, and the reason I actually like that is, and I looked at it, is because it's forest management company, and so it's both sort of, it keeps carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but it also really reduces the fires, and
That's right.
that's a big problem here in California. And so does yours do both, or is it just around storage and it's really not about forestry management, which is more of a compelling sell? Both are a compelling sell, but this one in particular, and I think that I think they raised, what I remember reading about this, and I thought that was a good idea. Obviously,
Kodama specializes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kodama specializes in the autonomous machines that will go into the forest and collect waste wood in the forest.
Okay.
Safe.
Okay.
We're not trying to develop an autonomous, forest thinning machine. We're happy to take waste wood wherever it comes from, and a lot of it, I'd say the vast majority, is coming from forest thinning to prevent wildfires. So yeah, that's just one of the co-benefits of getting wood out of the forest.
Okay. How does this compare, the storage compared to the burial? So the biomass burial has a better potential, or maybe a different potential of removing more of the carbon, but I could be wrong.
I'm so glad you asked that question because it's very deceptive. The burial folks will tell you that it's easier, just dig a hole, throw the logs in, cover it up.
Right, much more cost effective. Right.
It's wrong though, because the wood goes in wet. If it goes in dry, it'll get wet over time. Water plus wood means rotting, which means methane emissions, and that's something they can't stop.
Okay.
So there's a bit of bad science that's underpinning that.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any more questions to Jon? So the question is, anyone interested to connect with Jon? Anyone in, or you guys out? All right. Jon, great job.
I'm out. I think the cost doesn't sound that compelling, and I think boxes of wood just sitting above ground seems kind of like a waste of space above ground.
So I'm going to push back on that. I think this is a very compelling business, and I think it is a critical business. I think I like what you're doing. Unfortunately, I really invest in areas in companies that I can actually add value to. And I don't have enough domain knowledge here to be able to feel like I would contribute anything. However, I think this is a very important business, and I'm hoping that you do raise and continue to grow and scale and help the Earth survive. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks so much. Thank you. And Jon, to address your point, it can seem like it's easier and cheaper and better to just bury it, sink into the bottom of the ocean, take shortcuts. But you gotta respect nature. Nature is going to always win. you can't make up your own.
I'm not thinking about the wood. I'm thinking about the machines that take the like carbon capturing. They take the carbon out of the air, create those filters that they can then bury, and so that cost is, I understand it to be lower than $100 per ton.
Climeworks CFO just said on a mic at a recent conference, they're not getting below $300 per ton anytime soon. There's a built-in energy cost. It's about a factor of 5 or 6 higher than Tal's energy cost. It just takes too much energy to do direct air capture. It would be nice if it worked, but I'm somebody who really studied CO2 capture and the way CO2 absorbs to surfaces. I don't think you're going to get there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. If any of the sharks would be interested, we'll connect you. Please share your GGW profile here in the chat to let the other investors see it as well. And we're moving on. And the next presenter is, thank you, Jon. The next presenter is Gary Cohn. Gary, you ready?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
2 minutes.
John, really quick, that was like super cool. I loved listening to your pitch about all that stuff. It was great. So kudos to you. And yes, you are doing something important. So, Daniel, it's good to see you. Hi, Sharks. How are you? Feeding frenzy. So my name is Gary Cohn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Luxury Travel Hackers. And what we're doing is we're leveraging travel content and influencers and making vacations bookable right from social media, right? So a few things that are important to understand is that 86% of all travelers across every generation, except for boomers, which are my parents, are choosing their next vacation on social media. And then they're spending 10 to 20 hours of research on multiple websites to build a trip that was just presented to them, while influencers who specialize in travel are not making any money from that process. And so our solution is to remove that friction between the discovery and the booking, allowing people to book right from the influencers' accounts and from social media accounts. Um, and wow, I lost my train of thought. To book from the point of discovery, making it a super easy, seamless experience. We have beta tested this. We've done probably close to, with all of our betas, and now we're back at market, about almost 2 million in sales we've done so far. On the paid ad side, we saw about a 8x ROAS on our last beta that we did, which was fantastic. On the organic side, we see about a 0.01 conversion, which is about 1/10%. And that, to give you an idea about how that scales for us, we currently have 300 influencers that are on our wait list. We're about to launch the first dozen. And that with 300 influencers with about 80 million followers is a $72 million pipeline value. So it scales. It's really cool. We've made these things bookable, by the way. The way that we've done it is we've built a white label booking engine for the influencers. So everything's branded to them. So essentially they have their own Expedia. And yeah, the Shopify for travel is basically what we're building. And I'll leave it at that.
Shopify for travel, right on time. Thank you, John. Yeah, Sharks. What about you? What do you think?
Gary, thank you for presenting. So I'm just thinking, it's a very tough space. When I hear travel, it's already difficult. Influences, it's even more difficult. Difficult times difficult. So very crowded space, very difficult to build a sustainable mode. It's great that you have like 300 influencers waiting to join the platform. However, the majority of companies that have this kind of platforms, the main challenge is not to attract the influencers, because influencers, they can join your platform and probably 100 other platforms. So how do you create a sustainable mode in this crowded space, and how do you scale to the revenues that would be interesting for VCs to invest?
Nobody has built a white label booking engine for influencers. 62% of all people on social media are following travel influencers. It's 15% higher than beauty and fashion, which obviously we know dominates e-commerce. It's made millionaires out of influencers. They've never been able to kind of crack this code for them. We are the only company that has. There are companies out there like Trovo Trip and Thatch where they do group trips and things like that. What we do is completely different. And the way that we scale this is that we basically take content that travel influencers have already done in destinations they've already been to, and we make that bookable. So essentially, we're taking these hard drives that are sitting in their closet collecting dust, making them no money, and creating revenue for them.
So can you talk about your team? So this is basically, the defensibility to me has to be in the technology, right, in the tech stack. I mean, what is it that will create that? tell me about your team. How many engineers? How many sales? Who's your team?
Yeah, so there's me and my co-founder. She's been in the travel space for about 15 years. I come from the film industry, actually. I was a film producer for 25 years. Our CTO, 25 years of experience. We work with an offshore dev team called Galaxy in India. They have about 600 employees. We have about 5 or 6 that are working for us right now. Easy to scale that as much as we want. We have our CMO has been doing this, working with influencers and ad spend for 15 years. Our social media team has been in this for a long time. I think, part of our moat, is that, and a lot of the things that we've done in our beta tests were through our social media accounts. So as LTH as an influencer, we have about 1.5 million followers across 14 accounts where we did all of that testing. That's going to be a big portion of our model where we get 100% of the commission. We don't share that with anybody. And that's where we saw all of these like high ROAS numbers and these organic conversions.
And what does your marketing look like right now?
Our marketing is basically ad spend and then the influencer, and then across our social media accounts, we just market across our social media. So it's stories, reels, posts, link in bio, across all the various different social media, from YouTube to TikTok to all of that stuff. And it's just marketed to followers. I mean, this is, there's this area of the pond where all the fish are feeding, and it's on social media, and nobody has their line out in the water. And so that's what we did, and we tested it.
Okay. Any more questions, Rishi, Katie? Okay. Anyone interested to connect with Gary? I guess you know. All right, Gary, thank you so much. Share your GGW profile here in the chat, and investor there. Thank you. Great presentation. The next person to present is Denis Kutilov. Denis, you there? You ready? Find you. Denis Kutilov. I cannot locate Denis. Oh, I found you. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Okay, you got 2 minutes.
Hello, and thank you for your time. So, my name is Denis Kutilov, and I'm the founder of Youth Through Video startup. And we are targeting 60 million video creators worldwide to revolutionize the process of video creation for them. So according to sales figures, there are more than 12 million people who are paying for professional video editing software now. And the problem that we are solving is that professionals and communicators are now spending 80% of their time to find and structure content and scenes in their own video footages to use them in the project. So that is the point. And our service helps find and describe specific content and scenes in unsorted video files on users' local and cloud storages, to use them right away in ongoing projects or to share them in social media. So, just a sec. And we started this project as a solution for our own video production. And then we realized that it would be beneficial to the whole video creation industry, for professionals and influencers, and even for regular people. Now we have an online version of our service ready, and we will conduct search now for on users' Google Disks, and we plan to start sales in February. So we are still tweaking our product, and so we are starting right now. So we consider a couple of pivots for our product, and one of them is a generative service to create videos with intellectual storytelling based on scene descriptions that we were made. So that is quite interesting pivot. So we plan to reach 2 million users in 5 years with annual subscription for $95. which gives us an annual turnover of approximately $180 million. So we are now on pre-seed stage. We still not have traction, and we are now on pre-seed stage and searching for 500K to start developing of multi-platform application and marketing.
All right, thank you so
That's
much,
it.
Dennis. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions to Dennis and his company? Anyone wants to start? Okay.
Hey Dennis, thanks so much for sharing what you're building. I just wanted to share another company that I came across recently that is building something similar. I'm not sure if you've come across them yet, but they're called Imaginario. I think they're also doing something similar where they're essentially using like computer vision and like AI models to help identify what's like the context of like the video and then make it like searchable, because I do think this is a pretty interesting problem space. I would be curious to learn a bit more about the tech and specifically who's building this technology, given that it is a bit of a complex product to build, and you would need to source a lot of different data to be able to complete something more comprehensive. So would love to pick your brain on that.
So we are now dividing videos by technical part. So with computer vision, we divided videos into scenes, and then we describe scenes with Google and Amazon and other neural networks. So that is how it works. And we plan to make our own neural networks when we rise like on the seed stage. But now we're using other platforms to analyze not videos, but to analyze images, because we're dividing videos into smaller parts, and then we take out some images from it and describing and analyzing them. So it's much more faster than to analyze videos.
Got it. Thank you. Are there more questions to Dennis? Anyone interested to connect with Dennis? Or you guys out? All right, Dennis, thank you. Please share your GGW profile in the chat. Support others. Great job. And yeah, we're looking forward to you launch your product. That'll be exciting. Thank you. The next presenter is Sergey Stepanov. Serge Stepanov. Sergey, are you there? Are you there? Sergey Stepanov. You guys need to unmute yourself when we call you. Okay, Sergey, you're there. So you got 2 minutes and you may start now. We don't hear you for some reason. We cannot hear you. You probably need to take off your headphones or something. Sergey, we will give you a chance to pitch after the person I'll select. So Filippo Nigro, Filippo, you there? You'll pitch now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Okay, Sergey, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Okay, hello. So my name is Sergey Stepanov, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Denskill. Denskill is a platform that gives you the opportunity to learn the movement skills of the best athletes in the world. I was one of the best ballroom dancers in the world, and I coached more than 30 Israeli champions, world finalists, and world medalists. During all my years as a dancer and as a coach, I managed to see that there is a huge problem in all the education system of movement, and I decided to solve it with technology. So first of all, we need to understand what is a movement. Every movement that we're doing with our body is basically just a combination of angles that is created by our skeleton in a certain friction of time. So I saw it all the time, but once my small brother didn't manage to become a champion like all my other students, I decided that I need to do it. because he has a very huge scoliosis in his spine. He was all the time practicing and not doing the right movement. And I've managed to see that this is a common problem to all the athletes. And basically, during the program, we managed to bring him to second place in the world with our platform. We did a very successful pilot with the biggest academy in the world in Italy, with 25 subscribers, one of the best dancers in the world, to check the platform. And we closed also a huge academy in China that is waiting for our product once we have it in a Chinese version. So one thing, the most important to understand, if we don't do it, we cannot squeeze the talent from the kids that are growing up, the next generation of athletes, because as human beings, we are moving out of a habit. So once we go to practice, we all the time practice the same mistake. In our platform, the student is choosing his idol, the best athletes in his field, and he's capturing himself, and by AI technology, we're comparing these angles, and on a daily basis, he can practice it with his coach, with his parents, with his friends, by himself, and to see all the time the mistake, and therefore not creating that mistake, and to track his progress. Otherwise, you are all the time creating the same problem over and over again.
So, okay, you
The
passed time.
subscription is basically
Yeah, you passed time. Please wrap this up. What would be a final statement?
So the subscription is by star and it's by month, and it's scalable for all the sports, because everywhere there is a movement and everywhere you need to practice the right movement.
Thank you. Yes, Sharks, do you have any questions to Sergey?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how it works. So I'm a user. Can you take me through that? Is this done on my phone? Is this captures? Explain to me how this
Okay,
works.
so you open the platform. In the future, if you are not the ballroom dancer, because this is our first vertical, in the future you choose your discipline, whatever it will be: basketball, football, ballroom dancing, or ballet. Then afterwards, you choose the idol that you wish to do like him. If it's Maya Plisetskaya or if it's Lionel Messi, it doesn't matter. You choose like who you want. We are actually capturing this idol in all the figures. And then you choose any figure that he's doing, any movement. We have a lot of movements of this idol that you selected. And we have your option is to capture yourself with the phone. Once you capture yourself with the phone, the algorithm is comparing skeleton to skeleton and shows you where you are doing the mistake in the movement. So you basically can choose any star that you want. And by comparing yourself, you all the time see where is the progress, or there is no progress. It's like a GPS of movement. It doesn't mean that you can do it or you will do it, but we show you the mistake and we show you the way how to come to the right movement.
So does it have to be sort of, as you said, the idol? So I do this in golf a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm videotaped, I'm analyzed, my swing, my whatever it is. I'm analyzed and then I'm corrected. I don't have to be compared to an idol, if you will.
Yes, because yeah.
Is that possible? I mean, to be able to analyze the person and the movement not against another person, but for their own for their own positioning. I also am a tango dancer, so, and I've been doing that for many years, and I do dance, and so I don't know if I want to be compared to anyone, contrasted. I want to actually be able to work with my own and correct my own based on my own body type, whether I have scoliosis or whatever it is, or I'm a certain age. So can you address that?
Yeah, of course. I can give you even an example. 15 years ago, when I left to live in Italy, I'm from Israel, people said that only in Italy and Russia, kids know how to dance. But I brought from Italy the technique, and the technique is just the angles of the skeleton. We all have the same skeleton, 2 heads, 2 legs, 1 head, and a neck, right? So if we are not bringing 1 star, we are not saying that we're capturing 1 star in a discipline. It's not just Tiger Woods. So if you take golf, we'll have all the stars. By an AI, we can come to the common degree that needs to be as an average in every angle. This is, yes, of course, and this is what you have in your platform. You have the average angle that should be processed in that movement. But please try to understand that golf movements are much more linear than in other disciplines. If you take basketball, there's much more movements. And in those movements, there are angles that are must angles for you to succeed, and there are angles that we're calling styling angles. But many people want to move like, let's say, Neymar, or many people want to dance like the coaches in Italy, Gabriele Goffredo, or other dancers, right? So if we don't give them that angles, because it's all about angles, eventually, if we make a Röntgen scanner to every athlete, it's just a skeleton that is changing angles.
All right.
So what we need to do is to give those angles to the user that he will be able to practice it with his coach, or at least see what is the right direction.
Sergey, thank you. Because we have a lot of entrepreneurs, so we gotta be very concise in our answers, but we appreciate a very great explanation. So, dear Sharks, do you have any other questions to Sergey?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. So, who are you selling to? Is it like are you B2C or B2B2C? And what are the revenues today? And how many customers do you have today? That's question number 1. Number 2 is you started with dancing and you plan to expand it to other areas like sports, etc. So do you potentially compete with all those companies that already have the apps for like sports, soccer, physical therapy, you know, whether you are doing the right movement here and there. So are they all your potential competitors, because they started with another space and then they can expand potentially into dancing?
Okay, so we had a small pilot with 25 users because I'm a dancer. I'm not a technology guy. So everything I rose up as a bootstrap, brought everyone together, and we have 24 customers that were in Italy. They live in Italy. Many of them are from Asia, from the States, from Canada, Europe, and etc. But afterwards, after the success of the improvement, because it's students of one of the best coaches in the world, we have an academy in China with 1,000 students that are waiting for us. This is private schools. And in China, there are other 48 schools like this. So there's 48,000 just ballroom dancers in private schools in China, plus 50,000 in universities. So our first market that we want to target is the Chinese market, because it's a market that is very organized from sport. They study it from the first grade and they want to integrate dance skill as a lesson, not just a platform to practice with, but as a lesson to analyze other athletes during their studying time. This is first thing. The second thing, our first vertical is ballroom dancers. We have 2 million ballroom dancers around the world. And of course, afterwards, we want to cover all the dance world, which is hip hop, ballet, and all the rest. And just afterwards to go to already big sports, which I actually want, because I really see how it will change every sport that we will touch, because this is the micromechanics. This is something that they don't really touch in big sports. They touch it only in the best teams in the world. For example, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, they all have video analytic team. But if we speak about kids all around the world that are practicing in normal clubs, normal small clubs, they don't have the opportunity to compare themselves with the best in the world. So they are not being able to create that movement.
Thank you. Thank you. I would have to sometimes stop entrepreneurs because you guys are giving great answers, but it's really takes a lot of time sometimes, and it's important investors asking you as many questions, so there is a chance we connect you. So my final questions to the investors here. You guys interested to connect with Sergey? Any one of you is in, or you guys out? Okay, Sergey, thank you. Great presentation, amazing product. Please share your GGW profile here in the chat. More investors may have a look. And if anyone interested, we'll definitely connect. Appreciate that. And we're moving on. The next presenter is Filippo Nigro. Filippo, you there? I can see you. Turn on your mic. You may start now. You got.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got 2 minutes. You may start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Filippo. I'm the CEO of Youth, and we are building full health checkup from smartphone in less than 2 minutes. So if you look at the market right now, you will see that there are multiple trends driving demand for preventive screening. For example, the quantified self market is expected to reach 40 billion by 2026. However, the current healthcare system failed to sustain this demand. It takes more than 3 weeks just to get a single preventive visit, and more than 5 visits if you really want to have an holistic overview of your health. So at Youth, we just want to use data collected from smartphone sensor with no extra hardware to really make preventive screening a no-brainer. We offer a super quick and accessible digital health screening in less than 2 minutes with a face video, voice analysis, and an eye picture, and that's it. And then we really make holistic prevention possible, screening for 7+ organ and 20+ biomarker. Now you might wonder, how can we do all of this, right? So basically we combine existing validated algorithm into a frictionless front end, plus we add our own unique IP on top. In this way, we can bring the holistic value proposition to the market faster. Next question is how accurate it is, right? So for the screening technology that we bring from outside, accuracy is out of the box. Some of them are already cleared by the FDA and are used by hospital to do, for example, remote patient monitoring. From the algorithm that we built in-house, instead, they're based on scientific paper, and they have an AUC comparable, let's say, to a quick COVID test. It's important to say that we don't claim diagnostic power, right? We want to be a quick, effective, efficient patient prioritization tool. A quick COVID test for your overall health. In terms of go-to-market, we want to scale via B2B2C channel, but we also want to open the app to the public with a freemium model to start getting learning data and start monetizing. We started 18 months ago.
Filippo, you passed time. Yeah. What is your final statement you want to say to investors?
Yeah, just 2 sentences about the traction. We are going to start a paid pilot with an health insurance in March, April. Basically deploy to 10K users, and insurance will pay $5 per user per month. And on the B2C side, we are more than 1,000 users in closed beta, 20% paying, 6-month retention, 21.3%. Thanks.
Great job. Thank you. Yes, Sharks.
So I'm a Dean's Fellow at Stanford Medical School, and I work a lot in this space. I've invested across many different platforms. This is obviously very compelling, but also very complicated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. First of all, I'd like you to expand on that insurance piece again. What are they insuring? I'm sorry, who is insuring this, and what exactly? I'm not even sure what this is. On one hand, you said it's a patient organizational tool. Another one, you said this is a sort of a healthcare data smartphone analysis of using your eye. Can you explain the user experience and the insurance piece, please.
Of course, yeah. Let me start from the concrete user flow, right? So imagine that you are a new user, you just download the app, and our value proposition is really at the screening point. So you just take out your phone, 30-second face video, 30-second voice recording, face picture, that's it. After this quick screening, you receive your overall health score, plus an health score.
Hold on, stop there. Stop
Yeah.
there. How do you get a health score from your face, your eyes? You said that you're working on some FDA approved screening technology.
Correct. I will make you a very easy example.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take the example. So out of these multiple data input, so face, video, and voice, we extrapolate a prediction for some biomarkers.
So let's take predictive. This is predictive. Okay. This is
correct.
This is not diagnostic, as you said. Okay.
Correct. And out of this biomarker, then we compute a score across multiple organs, and these different scores, then they create an overall health score. I can make you a concrete example for cardiovascular. You take the face video as a data input into the machine learning algorithm. Prediction is your heart rate variability, blood pressure, and we're working on cholesterol, HbA1c. Out of this biomarker,
from your face.
Just yes, I know it sounds like Theranos. This is the risk.
It doesn't
need to explain a lot.
It doesn't have any medical for me. That this doesn't even make sense. But
these are
so what's the technology? What company?
Exactly. So this is a technology called photoplethysmography. Basically, it analyzes light reflection pattern on. You want to ask something?
Yeah. No, I'm aware of this. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it analyzes light reflection pattern on your face skin. So depending on how your blood vessel pump, they have different absorption rate, right? And these absorption rate are then used to infer some biomarker, like for example, heart rate variability. And we partner up with some companies, right? They already got class 2A, for example. And they're already deployed into some insurance workflow, even for clinical trials to do remote patient monitoring, right? So part of the implementation that we do is just integrating this existing approved technology. Then we have our own in-house,
If this technology is in clinical trials, which basically all of it is that I'm aware of, what part of it is FDA approved?
Yeah, so for example, the face video detecting heart rate variability, they got CE mark and class 2A, actually. Yeah. So there is also the voice analysis to detect instead brain disorder, brain health, and mental health. They're going through the de novo approach via FDA clearance, and there are actually multiple ones. So similar approach for the voice analysis for respiratory. Respiratory.
You're talking about the pre-novo approach, which is the full body scan. Is that what you're speaking to?
So there is an FDA process which is called de novo. So there is
I'm sorry, I thought you said pre-novo. I apologize. Okay, I'm going to make this very quick. Explain to me the insurance.
Yeah, that's a paid pilot. Basically, the insurance will distribute.
Paid pilot, and with who's the pilot with? What insurance company?
Yeah, it's a public German health insurance.
It's a public German. Okay,
yeah,
that's a critical piece of this, just so you understand, because in Europe, the sharing of data, okay, and the access to data is much different than here in the US, right? There's completely different regulatory landscape, legislation around this. So, and in Germany, they share all their healthcare data. I mean, the government has full access to it, or most of it, And even though they don't say they do, they monitor everything. And I'm very, very aware of this because I work with the EU Parliament. So I think that's really important to say at the very beginning that this is a German pilot, with a German company, so that we better understand the market that you're really addressing, which is really Europe. Because here in the US, I don't see this working immediately. Okay, I see this. So I'm out. But I think you're on the precipice of something really important in terms of healthcare. But I invest in companies here in healthcare diagnostics and monitoring and remote here in the US. So I'm out. But thank you.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it's been pretty fascinating.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback. I will be
I'll
interested
actually
in
go out on a limb here. I'll go out on a limb here, Filippo, and say I'm in. I'd like to see the numbers behind it, how many people you've actually tested, and how it accurately lines up with the real A1B tests and the other tests. And if you're even close to being 90-something% accurate to where it's actionable and you're not just tons of false positives and negatives there, it'd be a great product, and you can make a lot of money just because we have so many uninsured and underinsured people and people who want to check things before they go and pay their co-pays for their doctor visits. And I could see you having a good business over here.
But John, the technology is not well founded. Okay, yet.
That's what I'm asking.
Here,
I'd like to
not
see.
here in the United States. In Europe, maybe, but this would not be insurable here in the United States.
I'm not even thinking it has to be paid for by insurance. I think you could just charge people $10 a month for access to the app if it's accurate enough.
Maybe
that's what I want to see is the data behind it. How many people have you actually run the test on?
Yeah.
So
I don't think it has medical efficacy yet. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So I was like, since like John mentioned, like the people would be willing to pay you like $10 a month. I'm trying to understand what is the sustainable value. So let's say that I pay for the app, I've run the screening, I got my health like profile. Like, what's the next step for me? Do I still have to continue using the app, or can I just try to improve things on my own, come back in 6 or 8 months from today and pay you another $10?
Yeah, these are very good
run
questions.
another screening.
Yeah,
Why would I pay you like every month?
Yeah, these are very good questions. So basically, we have a chart that I can show right now with different target persona and the product of evolution over time. So if you think about the first target persona that we are planning to target, so this longevity enthusiast, quantified self, even the health savvy middle age, they already have inner motivation to do regular screening. Usually they do a Tom blot test. They run from a clinic to clinic. Then they have G-Sheets, Miro, Notion, where they try to combine all their biomarkers. And so they have inner motivation by themselves. And we see on our app that this user, on average, they do 4 digital screening per month. What we tell them after the screening is the following. So if there are some biomarker a bit out of range, we give them a basic, let's say, in a prototype stage, basic, regular checked plan, right? And also a plan to improve their biomarker. And they can track this in the app and then take another measurement to see if after they follow this measure, it improved. Of course, the more we evolve the product, the more we need to keep product value and stickiness also for the late majority, right? And at that point, B2B2C channels play an interesting role because, for example, insurance, right, can offer discount. The more people can screen. We can also add an L coin system, right? The more you do prevention, the more you do regular screening, the more you can get access to additional services. We are also having paid pilots.
I gotta stop you because if in
No problem.
listed, you gotta
No
have
problem.
private conversation. There are plenty of other startups willing to pitch. My question to Sharks. So first of all, congratulations, one Shark is in, and it's Jon.
I'm in.
Okay, two Sharks are in. What about the rest of the Sharks? Okay, Jillian is out.
I would recommend that people reach the the NIH does a lot of research on facial screening, and that would be a good part of diligence for all of you who are in. Okay, I think this is a very, very obviously compelling area. We know it well, but I don't think it's there yet. And I hate to sell consumers, anyone in healthcare, something that is not doesn't have the science behind it yet. So I'm skeptical, but appreciative, and I'm glad two of you are following up.
And we love the feedback. Thank you so much, Filippo. Great job. You had a great. You caused the great debate here, and we love it. So keep doing. Share your GGW profile here in the chat, and we're moving on. And the next presenter is Kiran Kumar. Kiran, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You got 2 minutes, and we might start.
Awesome. So hi, Sharks. Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to share with you all a big step in women's health. So we are Timeless Biotech, and we've prototyped the first ever menopause predicting algorithm. So all you have to input is test results from just one blood draw, and the AI system will give you your predicted time to menopause. And on top of that, we'll have a subscription-based platform that will help you prepare for this transition. So why did we create this? Well, women are getting totally blindsided by menopause, and they're walking into this transition uneducated and many times not knowing that they're in a transition at all. So this is resulting in 1/3 of women getting misdiagnosed, 1/3 of women getting misprescribed, and 45% of women not getting treatment even though they want treatment. And it exists just because they don't know when to expect this transition and when it's coming. And this has a number of health effects, like you have increased health risks like osteoporosis and heart disease, reduced mental health. Many women quit during menopause. It puts strain on relationships. 70% of women blame divorce on menopause. And in general, we just have a very reactive approach to this event that basically every female will go through in their life. A menopause predictor is a way to be proactive about things and prepare yourself for this transition so that women are not in the dark. Our current system is reactive. Let me just clarify that there's no such thing as an on time, catching something on time. You're either late or early. And that's why our first prototype makes sure that no woman will be late. And we're just asking for 750,000 USD to get us to and beyond getting to the market. Thank you.
Right on time. Thank you. You even got 7 seconds. Appreciate that. Well, dear Sharks, what are your questions to Kiran?
How do you make money off this? Because if you only tell people once what time, when their menopause will occur, you have one revenue opportunity. So what's the business model here?
Right. So that's the start. It's starting by telling women this is your predicted time to menopause. And then we have options of how to prepare. So that comes with a subscription. And then we also have other follow-up tools that are in the pipeline of predicting perimenopause, predicting intensity of menopause, and also assisting with menopause treatment. So treatment, I say because technically menopause is not a disease, but hormone replacement therapy, dosaging for hormone replacement therapy. The dosages change every single year, or should, because you are getting less and your estrogen levels change every single year and other hormone levels change every year. So there's so much potential in this opportunity, but it all starts with first knowing when you're entering the transition. So this is really the foot in the door, but our data can also be used for other applications.
Right.
I did have a question. Can you speak to kind of how you train the predictive algorithm? Like what's the how'd you come to this date or this time range for women when they are going to experience menopause?
Yeah, of course. So it's an individual cohort data set. What that means is it's taken each women's annual blood data over the course of around 10 years of 3,000 women. So it's a lot of data. And because we want to have only one time reading, like you only need one blood test, we've split that up. And we have several tens of thousands of data points. And this was obviously split into like the typically recommended 80% training, 15% testing, 5% validation. And that's where we got our first prototype's accuracy, which is already higher than like anything we will ever see similar in industry.
So in order to be able to predict the hormonal changes in a woman's body, like you, as you noted, you do need a blood test, and you don't need just one blood test, you need a number of blood tests. So could you talk to a little bit about that? Because that is part and parcel of this, correct? That
Yes.
you,
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, yes. So that's one of our big innovations here is the ability to use AI to do some feature engineering and look at ratios of hormones to actually overcome that need to have several blood tests.
You need
However,
one blood test though, yes?
we just need one. Yes, we
Okay.
do need one blood test. But if we find that we want more accuracy, we can also take 2 blood tests and have systems that can take more than one.
Yeah,
Is,
I think you
is
would
the blood
probably
test
need a
available?
minimum of 2. Sorry, go ahead.
Is this one of the blood tests you can do at home with the paper card, or does it need the separation of the plasma and platelet?
So we can have both those options. We can do an at-lab blood draw, and we can also work on getting a like home kit type of like finger prick test.
Yeah, if you want, I could introduce you to a company called Low Bioscience that has a new technology for at-home testing where they can do the separation. So you could offer your tests at home. You wouldn't have to do it in a lab.
It's a great
That would be fantastic for sure. Thank you so much.
So, Kieran, I have a question. It's like I'm just sharing John's concerns here. I'm trying to understand. I see the value in what you're offering, obviously, but I'm struggling to see the value beyond the first year or the year and a half. So we have a company in our portfolio. You're probably familiar with them, Flow. I was on their board. And I know that it is not easy to create this retention, beyond the first, I don't know, like year, 2 years. And especially in this case, because you already focus on the menopause, so nobody needs to get pregnant, it's just, so how do you keep the users like retention and engagement?
So
beyond this prediction, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So think of the menopause predictor as like an MVP. It's our way to establish something that doesn't exist, which is kind of needed for our next product. So we do have long-term goals, which are not only other predictive tools, but to assist with not only the treatment of menopausal symptoms, but also the treatment of hormone imbalance in the future. So 80% of women experience hormone imbalance. This is something that we've considered for a long-term goal, is to create AI algorithms that can assist with women who want to bring balance back to their hormones, because it's something that needs so much personalization, and we can provide hormonal and non-hormonal methods to do this. So there are subscription-based ways where we can help women like kind of fortify their hormonal health in general in the future, whether or not they're in menopause.
Okay.
All right. Are there more questions? Anyone interested to connect with Kiran? So John is interested, as far as I understood, to connect with someone. Okay.
Yeah, I'll connect him.
2 sharks are in. Anyone else? Okay, so we got 2 sharks interested to connect with Kiran. We will connect after the event today or tomorrow. Great job. Good luck with your project. Please share your GGW profile in the chat, and we are moving on. Thank you. The next one is Ellery Krelov. Ellery, are you there? You ready?
Hi, hello. Yep. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, let me find you. Just can't see you. Just a second. Sorry. Oh, I found it. All right. So you got 2 minutes, and you may start.
Hello. Hello, I'm Elric Priloff, the co-founder and CEO of Artistry. So we're a Techstars-backed startup that makes AI detection software to protect intellectual property. So as you may know, AI-generated content cannot be copyrighted, patented, or trademarked in the United States. So for gaming, music, and entertainment companies that rely on exploiting IP to monetize, this poses a very large risk to their business model. For example, imagine if Pokemon couldn't copyright Pikachu. So already leading industry names like Riot Games, Hasbro, and Disney have all internally banned generative AI from use by their creatives. However, they have no way to enforce these policies. All of these companies have gotten backlash on social media for AI usage despite bans in place. That's why enforcement software like Artistry is necessary. As for how we got here, well, Artistry was originally a digital art marketplace. We have over 55,000 registered users. We do about 13K MRR. And many of our own users were defrauding clients by submitting AI art and pretending that it was their own. So we knew that professional artists were doing this too. We're a team of 2 technical co-founders, both with degrees in computer science, and we're backed by some of the top legal names in gaming, including the former chief legal officer at Pokemon. We're currently in contract negotiation with 2 AAA game studios, and one has a potential option for strategic investment. And I think that's everything.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Dear Sharks, what you got to say? Let's start.
What's the revenue model?
So we're a usage-based enterprise SaaS. So depending on the number of assets that we need to verify for a company, we charge on a per usage basis.
So I've got an investment in a company called Reality Defender, which is kind of AI fake detection. Is it kind of a similar technology you're using there? Or did you created your technology, or are you just a layer on top of an existing technology?
Nope, it's completely proprietary. We have 1 patent pending. We do know Reality Defender. So the difference between our technology is that most AI detection softwares are looking at something like a flat image, think a JPEG or a PNG, and they're basically doing an analysis on the pixels, right? How our technology works is we actually look at the underlying program files. This is specific to creative workflows in entertainment and gaming. So think about analyzing the underlying Photoshop document, the layers, metadata, revision history. All that gives us a much more clear answer about how a piece came to be and sufficient human authorship to qualify for copyright.
And you run tests to see how accurate you are?
Yes. Interestingly, though, it's difficult because, again, we can't just do it on a PNG. Most companies, for example, will not legally indemnify. We can offer that in some cases because of the strict requirements around the file reporting required, if that makes sense. We can offer that, though.
Okay. Is there more questions to Ellery? Are you guys interested to connect with Ellery and one in? Or you are? All right.
It's definitely needed space, but I'm going to say I'm out since I already have a decent sized investment in the space.
Fair enough.
Perfect. Thank you, Ellery. Appreciate that. Please share your GGW profile. And yeah, great product. So keep working on it. We look forward to hear your success. And the next presenter is Sofian Ajana from Reti Now. Sofian,
Yes,
you there?
that's me. Yeah.
Okay, found you. Okay, so you got 2 minutes and you may start now.
Okay. Hey, Sharks. Imagine that you wake up tomorrow morning with a huge black spot in the middle of your sight, and this might enlarge with time, leading to blindness. Well, that's the sad reality of all people with age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, a hereditary disease that runs in my family. My name is Sufyan Ajana. I'm a doctor in epidemiology, and I've made my fight against AMD my battle. What I want you to understand, Sharks, is that like once you turn 50 years or more, you become at risk of developing the early signs of this disease that can progress to the advanced stages of it, leading to blindness. And today, when you go to see your optometrist with your early signs, the standard of care is that they tell you, okay, so you are at the early stage, so start eating better, stop smoking, and do some exercise, and see you in a year from now. And I couldn't let that be like that. I had to do something about it. So I did a PhD on that, and I found a way to predict patients' risk who are at the early stage from progressing to the advanced stage, while providing them with the right monitoring to help them act on their risk over time and reduce it. And we have a patented technology in Europe, USA, and Japan. So right now, regarding our competitors, we are more than 4,000 times faster than them, while providing an actionable and even more precise solution. Our business model is easy. It's a yearly SaaS business model where the optometrist prescribes our solution to their patients, and then we share revenue. And today we are raising $2 million for 20% equity in our company because we want to go fast. We want to penetrate the market, and we want to reach our objective by 2026, which is 100,000 users per year. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. And you went to YC, right? As well?
Sorry?
You were in YC, Y Combinator. Did you go through?
Yeah. No, I wasn't sure. I'm in the application process now for YC.
All right, got it. Thank you. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I know that Cleveland Clinic is working a lot in this space, and there are many others. My father actually has retinal pigmentosis, but it is akin, it's not exact in terms of macular degeneration. There is things like that Amsler eye grid test. There are a lot of tests that are able to identify and monitor, and many protocols now being used out of Cleveland and a number of other healthcare providers. And I'm just wondering how yours is different from whatever else is now.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
answer that. Yeah, I think
There's
for the
another
question.
company, Site Matters or something like that, that also is working on this.
Okay.
What are you describing that's different?
Yeah, so it's great that you talked about the Amsler grid. The precision of the Amsler grid is around 70%. That's the precision of the Amsler grid. So we are really like on a basic precision. Optometrists use it because they don't have an alternative, because like that's almost all they have. We are talking here about the most precise prediction model in not only in the market, in literature. It has been published in the leading scientific journal in ophthalmology in the world, which is called Ophthalmology. I have presented this work at ARVO, which is the leading conference in ophthalmology in the world too. We have so many posters there as well. So we are not talking about the same kind of products, all right? And how do we predict your risk? We predict it using machine learning algorithms that we have developed on a European consortium. So we're talking about like more than 5,000 patients who were followed for up to 20 years. So actually I can predict your risk up to 15 years from now. But for commercial purposes, we are establishing our horizon time at 5 years from now. And we do it based on your fundus image. So your fundus image, a lifestyle questionnaire, and blood pressure. Because AMD is not, it's a multifactorial disease. So you have to take all that into account, and all our algorithms were trained on a training set and then validated independently on an independent validation set. So if we didn't take just the same set and we said like, okay, that's training, that's testing, that's validation. No, a whole other set that has nothing to do with the first set. That's why we were published in the leading scientific journal in the world in ophthalmology.
What's the business model?
Yeah, it's a B2B2C business model. So like every year you go to see your optometrist because like, these are the recommendations. Once you are at the early stage, you have to see your optometrist on a yearly basis. So you go to see the optometrist, they predict your risk of developing advanced AMD using our algorithm, and then so you pay $200 to predict your risk, and then from that moment on, we take care of you to help you act on your risk over time. So depending if you are at low risk or at a high risk, but to answer your question straight, it's a B2B2C business model. The optometrist prescribe the solution to the patient, and then we share revenue. And right now, actually, in this quarter, we are launching a pilot study with iMed, one of the leading eye insurances here in the US, to start having a reimbursement for our solution.
Yeah. So do you work also with different, with larger systems like Mount Sinai? Are you selling to them? I know Johns Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic, these are all have deep research and are invested a lot in macular degeneration. So I'm just wondering, is that a channel as well?
Of course, that's one of the main channels. Right now, actually, we are launching 2 clinical studies, one at UPMC in Pittsburgh and one other one at UC Berkeley School of Optometry, because we wanted to have these 2 sites because people don't have the same behavior, like at the East Coast and at the West Coast. So we wanted to have this heterogeneity in our clinical study to be able to prove and validate even more what our claims clinically, because now we have like a really full scientific validation. And now, so we have this scientific evidence to go and start selling to patients out there because it's working scientifically, it has been validated. Now, what we want to do is to go with this clinical additional validation to start our process with Medicare, Medicaid, because that's where we want to go afterwards in a few years, like to really to establish this as the gold standard and the standard of care for patients at the early stage of AMD.
Yeah. I know it's very difficult to sell anything to doctors. So that's why I'm thinking of selling to bigger systems. And of course, obviously, the insurance piece is a critical, right, for the scale.
Totally agree.
Thank
I
you.
have a quick question, maybe.
Yes,
So I'm not well familiar with the space. So how big is the market? So how many people are being diagnosed every year?
Yeah, great question. I should have said that during the pitch. There are 19 million Americans who are at the early stage of AMD. 19 million.
Yeah, it's a giant market. That's why
Giant
everybody,
market.
is
And
investing.
it's increasing with time because and the market is growing organically because we are in an aging population, right? And the name of the disease is age-related macular degeneration. So the number of patients developing this disease will only increase with time. And today we have no tools to act on it. Every single patient who develop the advanced stages of this disease costs to the state $35,000 per year. Every single patient.
The problem is that there is no cure, and
There is
it
no cure.
is debatable whether there really is proper treatments to slow it down. But that's another big issue that's part and parcel of this one. It's not just the diagnostics, then what?
Yeah, well, that's why before that, we are prognosis software. That's why we don't need the FDA approval. We predict your risk of having the advanced stages 5 years from now. And then we help you act on it to postpone that moment as long as possible.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah. So once we predict your risk, you are in 2 categories. You are either at a low risk or at a high risk. If you are at a low risk, we will help you adapt your diet to a Mediterranean diet, because we have shown too that Mediterranean diet lowers your risk by 40% of developing the advanced stage of this disease. And it has been validated by more than 10 different studies all across the world. It was always 40%. And that's why we are using our fine-tuned large language models to help you adapt your diet to a Mediterranean diet. Like if you love burgers, then we will help you eat Mediterranean diet style burgers, because you can just take a picture of whatever you're eating, and then we tell you this is not Mediterranean diet, that's the score of it, and that's how you should improve it. If you were to be at high risk, we have to go one step further. We you will benefit from our network of nutritionists with whom we are collaborating here in the Bay Area, but also you will have access to our retinal omega-3 biomarker, because omega-3s are the main components of your retina. And we have shown that maintaining high levels of omega-3s in your retina prevents you against developing the advanced stages. So in a nutshell, if you eat a piece of salmon for lunch today, I can tell you how much and what percentage of omega-3s go from that piece of salmon to your retina. And I will help you monitor these concentrations over time. And that's where we have a patent pending right now in USA, Europe, and Japan, which represent 80% of the global market.
Thank you.
Can I ask Daniel? I'm sorry, I know that.
Yeah, one final one. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just curious, like, is one of the challenges would be educating the market, educating the people about it? Because I honestly, I was lucky enough before coming here that I'm, or not lucky enough, I don't know. Like, I've never heard of this. So now I have one more concern.
Yeah.
But you know, I've never heard of this. So why would I be willing to know my risks for something that I'm not aware of?
Yeah.
You know, how much do you need to educate the market to make people like want to do this?
Well, you know, that's a great question. In healthcare, there are two kinds of technologies. You have either the vitamins or the painkillers. Okay, the vitamins are these technologies that you have, great to have, nice to have. You know, like it's like when you have like your pill of omega-3 in the morning, it's great to have. And then you have technologies that you don't care about until you need to, you know. But like once you are concerned and once you are like in this situation, then you want to have something. That's what we are saying. We are saying a painkiller. So today you don't care about AMD, but tomorrow when you will go to see your optometrist just to change your eyeglasses, and that they will take a fundus image because there's just like clinical routine, and they will tell you, okay, Elena, you came for your eyeglasses. Here is your new prescription, but know that at the same time we have seen the early signs of AMD. Then we are a painkiller, because then you have, today they have nothing to propose to you but this scale that you were talking about before, which is 70% accurate.
Thank you. Thank you. So with that said, who is anyone interested to connect with Sofian? Anyone in?
So, Sofian, I would be interested to keep in touch. It is too early for us today, but I would like to see, you know, to hear some updates.
Okay, definitely.
Yes, I would be interested to circle back.
One shark is in.
Okay, well, thank
Yeah,
you very much.
What about that?
If you could send me your deck, I'd like
Yeah.
to look at the deck.
Yeah, me too.
I can.
Yes.
Need to understand it a little bit better where
Yeah.
the revenue opportunity is.
Okay, I
Yeah.
send you the deck. Like I have the best deck ever. I love my deck.
Yeah.
I will send it to
Not
you.
Don't
right.
oversell. Don't oversell. So Jon and Jillian and Rishi as well, right? You guys, okay. 4 sharks are in. Oh, okay. It's
Me
jackpot.
too.
And what about
No,
Okay, so
too.
who is that? Excuse me, I didn't.
I was in.
Yeah, Elena, Jillian, Rishi, and Jon. Yeah.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So
well,
almost
thank you.
jackpot. Thank you so much. So Fian, great job. Please share your GGW profile and information here in the chat and support others. And we're moving on. We have little time left. And next one is Imad Ali El Arabi. Imad, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Let me locate you just a second. I don't see you.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Oh, I found you. All right. You got 2 minutes and go for it.
Yeah. Hello, Tark. I'm Imad, the CTO and co-founder of BuffCloud. Here's my co-founder next to me here, it's Man. So I think he's not appearing on the screen. So what is BuffCloud? BuffCloud, it's a platform where developers can build AI projects. They have access to all necessary features that they will need to build their next AI projects. Why we built BuffCloud? because me as a developer and as a developer who lead a team of more than 20 developers, we deliver more than 15 products, 15 AI products last year. We encounter a problem during the process of delivering this AI integrations or this AI project. The problem was that we was used in multiple AI services. You know, there is many AI providers or AI services that are out there, AI APIs. So we was to deliver a product or to build AI features, we should go to each one of these AI APIs providers and configure them with the actual app of our client. So that takes time. And also, it's not scalable for us as a developers to build multiple products. So developers have this problem, and that's why we built Buff Cloud and add all necessary features, all necessary APIs, all necessary integrations to let developers build their AI products in one place. So currently, we onboard more than 20 developers at the moment. The platform is it's actually launched, but we give early access to just few developers, and they are actually starting building some of AI projects. We believe that we can be the next cloud the next AI cloud infrastructure for the next generation of AI applications.
Matt, you passed time.
And
Final statement.
So yeah, so that's it. You can Sharks can ask me questions, no problem.
Sharks, please ask. Do you have any questions?
Where are you based?
Our company is based in Delaware, US. We founded it last year in October.
Are you located in the US
No.
as well?
We are located in Morocco, and also our team is actually working in Morocco. And that's one of the advantages, I think, because here in Morocco we have talent that's actually in some quality of the US talent, but cheaper than the US, and that's we think that's an advantage of that we have.
Interesting. Yeah, we have. Yeah, this is super within our wheelhouse in terms of dev tools, and we've been looking a lot into this like problem space, but we do require teams to be in North America. So if anything changes on your end, we'd love to chat.
Yeah, we love to chat, and yeah, see, that's there is also a possibility to one of the co-founders to move to United States to complete the fundraising campaign there. So moving to US is not a problem for us to have an actual founder there.
Okay, sounds good.
Katie,
Yes.
Katie, does it mean that you want us to connect you with Imat or not for now?
Yeah, connect us, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about the rest of the Sharks?
So any of the Sharks have a question for us? Actually, give us just a feedback if you don't have a question.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. So if any of the Sharks get interested to connect, we love your energy and the technology building is amazing. So keep working on this. Please share your GGW profile. If anyone interested, they will connect. Great job so far.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. And the next person to present is Sujay Suresh Kumar, Lilu Inc. Sujay.
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. You got 2 minutes and you may start now.
Awesome. Well, hello, Sharks. It was super nice to meet everybody. I'm Sujay. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lilu, where we build tech products to make postpartum care more comfortable and pain-free. When my co-founder Adriana and I saw friend after friend struggling to make breastfeeding work, we set out to understand why. We listened to hundreds of moms about their struggles with breastfeeding, and we were left appalled by how outdated breastfeeding technology was. This causes over 75% of moms to stop exclusively breastfeeding within just 6 months, well below the current recommendations for 2 full years by the WHO. As technologists, this was not acceptable to us. That's why at Lilu, we're building two key complementary product lines to make breastfeeding more efficient and sustainable. First is the Omni Breast Pump. It is the ultimate wearable breast pump integrated with our patented breast massage technology to help moms pump up to 55% more milk. And second is the MilkSense Smart Bra and Lactation Tracking app to help moms track their breastfeeding and pumping sessions, and with our proprietary sensors and machine learning algorithms, provide them with actionable insights about their lactation and well-being. We've validated our proprietary massage technology through our MVP, a massagic pumping bra that works alongside standard breast pumps to make pumping more efficient. We launched this product 3 years ago, and we've achieved some key milestones today. We've proven through vigorous pilots that moms pump up to 55% more milk on average with our massage technology. We have over 250K in sales from over 2,500 customers, received FDA Class 1 clearance, built a network of over 300 lactation experts, and most importantly, moms who were about to quit breastfeeding said that this was their breastfeeding savior. We're currently raising a seed round of $1.25 million to launch the Omni and MilkSense product lines, get to 5,000 daily active users on the MilkSense app, and hire our head of marketing and a data scientist. We just launched a WeFunder campaign to also open up this round to our community. We're backed by YC, SOSV, Latitude Ventures, National Science Foundation, among other leading investors, and we're absolutely pumped to build technology to make a real difference to the lives of millions of moms. I hope you join us in our mission as well.
It does a great presentation. Dear Sharks, now your turn.
I like that comment at the end that you're pumped. Very nice.
Absolutely, I'd love to end all my pitches for that.
Are you familiar with a company called Enfant? Nfant?
Yeah, they've been in the bottle feeding space, and I believe they're just also coming up with a device to measure breastfeeding output as well.
Right.
So we know about them, but we haven't been introduced to them.
Yeah, I'd be happy to make that introduction. A friend of mine is the CEO of the company and has put a lot of money.
That's amazing. I would love for that.
Into that business. So if you want to connect us, and I'd give your deck a look as well, because it's a good space and it'll be there forever.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you think that way.
One shark is in. All right. What about the rest of the shark?
Couple questions. So you said Valia Ventures is in? Valia, VALA?
No, I said YC, SOSV, Latitude Ventures.
Latitude, I'm sorry. My head is not, my hearing is not as great as it used to be. So can you talk a little bit about the unit economics here, and also about the breast pump itself? Where is it manufactured? What's the unit cost? And what are the challenges on that side? Because with any type of device, as we all know, there are some.
Of course. But firstly, I should say, Jillian, I'm a huge fan of you. I've been listening to you on the pitch. I was like, I also just have the hat handy in front of me. I was just on the pitch this past season as well. So, so I'll address the second question first around the breast pump, and then talk about the other challenges as well. So, with the first product, we launched it as an accessory to the breast pump. So the idea was that we came across research that breast massage while pumping can help moms get more milk, alleviate a lot of the pain and discomfort associated with pumping. And rather than reinventing the wheel, we launched a device to validate the technology, and we've done that, right? So our manufacturing for the first product is in Shenzhen, China. So I personally spent 2 years on the ground in Shenzhen, building these relationships with manufacturers, with our suppliers. So we know that it's robust, and like the supply chain is robust. And we've also seen that withstand the brunt of the pandemic as well. So we know that we're sorted there. As for the regulatory hurdles with the breast pump, so the breast pump right now, and like to clarify, is in development. So it's going to be the evolution of the first product essentially. So our first product is a massager. What we're doing with the breast pump now is taking the form factor of a breast pump, these wearable breast pumps. I don't know if you're aware of the industry, but most recently there have been a couple of companies that have launched wearable breast pumps. So these are breast pumps that fit inside the bra. And that's a growing sort of vertical right now. A lot of attention going to that space, but unfortunately, these breast pumps still rely purely on suction and like they lag behind in efficacy. So with our product, with our massage technology, the whole point is to improve efficacy. So we're taking the form factor of a wearable breast pump and attaching our massage technology on top of that. So in terms of regulatory hurdles, like yeah, we do have to go through the FDA clearance like pathway, but since we've already built those relationships with the FDA with the first product, like we know that it's going to be a straightforward 510(k) application to get to be a class 2 device. And we also already have our supply chain sorted out in China. But having said that, as we look to scale in the future, like we will diversify our supply chain and bring a part of our supply chain back closer to the US, either Latin America or Canada, where it may not be all of it, but you know, if it's going to be the final assembly that moves here, that's also going to help us with the unit economics. And then speaking of the unit economics, so we've done some fake door tests to understand the price point of the device, right? So we basically launched a series of tests online to like capture purchasing intent from our customers, and we know that at the $270 price point, moms are willing to they see the value in the product, and at that price point, our margins are also really high. Like we have close to 70% margins direct to consumers, and between 46 to 50% margins wholesale on the breast pump. And also, I must add that at the $270 price point, we're also very close to being fully reimbursed by insurance. So breast pumps right now are mandated to be reimbursed by insurance providers in the US. So moms can get one breast pump for free from their insurance providers, but there is an upper limit, there's an upper cap to that. So moms typically breast pumps right now ranging anywhere between $200 to $250 are fully reimbursed. Anything above that has to come out of mom's pockets. And some of the wearable breast pumps that exist right now are at the price point of $400 and upward. At the $270 price point, we are providing that convenience, that extra efficacy. And you know, moms may have to pay $20, $30 out of their pocket, but we see that they're more than willing to do that.
Thank you. And we maybe take one more question, and we have one more startup to pitch, so we will have a little bit of time. Yeah. So what would be the final?
Well, I just want to say, I want to see the deck. Can you please send me the deck and connect me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Anyone else interested to connect with Sujay? John?
Yeah, I'm interested too.
Rish? Okay.
Yeah, and I'll connect with Sujay also.
Sharks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Fantastic. Great presentation. Good luck with your project. And we're moving on. And we are taking the final presenter for today. And we have more people, way more people willing to present. So sorry about that, guys. We would like to pitch on the next one with a priority. We'll have priority. So the next one is Andres Londono.
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you got 2 minutes and you may start.
Okay, thank you very much. In Latin America, over 70% of adults lack access to formal banking, leaving them vulnerable to loan sharks who charge exorbitant fees and use violence as means of collection. Monet aims to change this narrative by providing fair Insta loans to the underserved, regardless whether they are informal or formal workers. Our solutions offer income-based loans with instant transfers, no recurrent interest, and a rapid 5-minute approval process. We leverage open banking for seamless income verification, and we also use open banking for repayment through auto debits. Central to our approach is our risk model score that only relies on alternative data. We have an acceptance rate of over 55% and a default rate of just 4%. This is remarkable, especially considering our focus in lower income individuals. And actually, more than 80% of users in Monet use their loans for emergencies and essential needs. The success of Monet is evident in our achievements. We have gathered over 20,000 positive reports that helps people repairing and making credit history. We never report people negatively when they don't pay the loan. 55% of our users have replaced Monet to a loan shark, which is basically what we are targeting to. And we are also we have issued over 900,000 loans. We have welcomed over 400,000 users into our platform, and our success has attracted partnership with traditional banks. We actually are in two of the largest bank in Colombia, Bancolombia and Nequi, as a credit solution for the user they cannot serve. And we have also partnered with other institutions to kickstart our B2B line, where we are going to provide our credit score and open banking technology for third parties to originate their own loans under their own balance sheets. We are backed by Y Combinator. We are currently raising a Series A round to expand regionally into Mexico and to achieve $8 million of revenue this year. Last year, we set the milestone of $1.5 million in revenue.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And this is the final pitch for today. Dear Sharks, what's your questions for Monet team?
You could go a little bit deeper into the revenue model and if there's a take rate or on the loans that you're providing.
Yes, so we charge a transactional fee for every loan, and we charge some late fees starting from 5 days into arrears and up to 90 days. After 90 days, the loan stays constant. We have a take rate of about 50%, and it's actually is increasing. What we achieved last year is to separate the cost of goods sold from the revenue. So the revenue is going up, and the cost of goods sold staying flat because of lower defaults from recurrent users. And for me, I mean, every month I have more recurrent users, which are less costly than new users. So that's actually a proof of scalability that we achieved last year, and we are very proud of that.
Thank you. Are there any sharks interested to connect with Andres? Are you guys in or out?
Yeah, I'll take the call.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andres. Great job. Please share your information here in the chat, especially GGW profile, and good luck with this project. And I think this is the time when we wrap this up. And I put myself back to the stage. It was exciting, guys. It was fantastic. And I really thank all the judges for your hard work. It's been 2 hours together, and I think we nailed it. It's a great project from around the world. It was very intense. I really admire your energy and passion and your feedback. So because it's all about investors and startups here, so I let you guys to close the session and give final feedback, whatever you have in your hearts and minds, as a final statement to entrepreneurs. And if you guys, I mean, Jon, would you like to go next? Go first, and then we will do it one by one and close this session.
Well, this is my first GGW Sharks tank, and I enjoyed it. A nice mix of companies and regions and entrepreneurs and folks, for the most part, were pretty focused. It's very challenging to do a pitch in 2 minutes, especially without slides or images when you're trying to describe a product or service. It makes it doubly hard. I think you did a good job moderating and keeping people on track. So I was kind of surprised as to how many of the companies I would be interested in learning more about.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your feedback, and thank you for your participation. We'll be glad to see you again on our show. Thank you. Katie, please go next.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Thank you everyone who pitched today. Really enjoyed learning about different industries. For me, I usually focus on B2B SaaS, and I was really surprised to learn about the diversity of, from hardware to consumer tech. And so it was a very, very engaging session. And then also special thank you to all the panelists here today. I loved hearing about how you ask questions and how you lead your curiosity. So yeah, thank you for organizing, Daniel, once again, and for everyone for participating today.
Thank you for participating. Hope to see you again as well. Thank you for your feedback. Rishi, you've been already several times, and it's been always a great pleasure to have you. So what would be your feedback?
Yeah, so just again, thanks for putting it together, Daniel, and the rest of the team at GGW. I guess the biggest takeaway is, as somebody who's been on the founder side, I understand how difficult it is to be in front of investors and pitch and do it especially in 2 minutes. And so I appreciate you guys taking the time and putting it all together to pitch us and tell us what you're building, and just keep on going. I know the environment currently is not the most ideal to fundraise, but keep on going, and you never know where it can go. And forums like this will just get your pitch even better, and hone your skills even further, so you can raise that money and build the company you hope to build.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We're always happy to have you. Jillian Gantvarg, you've been also several times already. Please share your thoughts.
No, I really enjoyed listening to the presenting companies today. Lots of great pitches, very interesting value propositions, great discussions, and again, like I said it already many times before, and I will repeat myself today again. If you didn't get any interest today, do not get discouraged. I mean, it takes time to raise the funds. On the average, in our experience, it takes about 6 months to raise the funds. Under the current market conditions, it may take even longer. So don't get discouraged. And good luck to everybody.
Don't get discouraged. I love it. Thank you so much. Always glad to have you. Jillian, thank you for all your feedback and your energy. It was fantastic. Also, I would be happy to have a coffee with you in San Francisco because we're close. I will talk offline on that.
I would love that.
Thank you. And what would be your final statement to entrepreneurs, whatever you have in your heart and mind? You're closing this global session. No pressure on you, but whatever you want to share with entrepreneurs.
Okay. I love a little pressure. First and foremost, I do want to thank the other investors here. I always learn a tremendous amount, and that's actually one of the reasons I agree to judge, because I do learn from all of you, and it provides me a better insight into a number of different sectors that I do not have that in knowledge yet. In terms of the founders, I think a no is actually more important in a lot of ways than a yes, because the no's, whatever you've heard today, whatever the questions have been, I hope you've taken note of them and then go back and start to address each one of them, because that's going to make your next pitch the best. People always say that a founder needs to pitch their company at least 60 times. This is what I've heard, in order to perfect that pitch. So I have actually ended up investing into a number of companies that originally I had passed on, because there's a tenacity that founders have that says, okay, I'm going to turn this no into a yes, and they see it as a challenge. They don't see it as a defeat. And I've been a founder, I've launched a number of companies, I failed in one of them, and I learned more on that than anything else in my failures in life. So I think you've all won here simply by showing up and giving it your best and having the courage to build a company. And I just have the most respect for all of you, and hope that you can turn those no's into yeses, because that's truly what you're doing in life, just trying to turn all of your no's in life into yeses.
Thank you so much. Great words. Take a challenge and turn your no's into yeses. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, dear Sharks. Appreciate all the feedback, all the energy here. You know what? We've got 12 matches today. It's amazing. It's a successful event, as always we have. Appreciate all the work you've done. So please share your feedback here, the link in the chat. Whatever you say, it's so important to my team. We definitely try to make this event better. And finally, please shout out on social media about Go Global World, so you don't have to. Yeah, in San Francisco, say something about San Francisco 49ers. And and tag all the investors in your posts, so we don't have to pay Google and Facebook to promote this and keep this event free. So thank you. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, guys. Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone.